Hello, Michelle here with My Designs in the Chaos, where it's my goal to develop, encourage, and grow your crafting talent and confidence. And we are on episode number 27 of the Daily Dose of Design, where I'm talking about all things related to designing your own SVG files. I'm giving tips, tricks, techniques, and all sorts of resources and information for 30 days. If you would like to have these directly into your inbox, then please feel free to put the link, put your email in the link either above or below, depending on which platform it is that you are watching this on. And if you're watching and you're watching live, I'd love it if you said hey. And if you're watching on the replay, make sure you let me know in the comments that you're watching on the replay as well. If you have a question that you would like to have featured in this series, The Daily Dose of Design, make sure to send it over via email, info@mydesignsandthechaos.com. It's going right across the bottom of the screen there. And I would love to be able to potentially address one of your questions. So today's question for our Daily Dose of Design comes from actually one of our alumni members. When I say alumni, I mean this is a student who has taken our class possibly once, possibly twice. We have a large percentage of our students that go through our course, which is 123 SVG, where I teach you how to design step by step in the software. But we have a large percentage that go through the class more than once. And they do that for a couple of different reasons. And it has to do with directly the question that was asked today. It was, what is the best way for me to remember what it is I need to do in the software? Because is that a struggle for anyone else? You can walk into the other room and be like, I have no idea why I just walked in here. Or is it just me? With all my kids running around all the time, I feel like I'm always forgetting things. It's hard to remember. And so I think that this is a great question, and it applies not only to our alumni, but also to people if you've decided to learn this by going on YouTube or you're learning any type of a new skill. And so I want to give you today three really tactical tips that you can take with you when you're learning this new software. And it could be maybe even when you're learning you got a new cutting machine and you're trying to learn that, or you're learning a new crafting technique. You can apply these same skills. And so step number one, the easiest way to commit these things to memory is through regular practice. Now, when I say regular practice, I mean consistent. Like, I don't mean once every 6 months, because in every 6 months, if we try to pull it out, it's going to be like, what's going on with that? I don't understand. And so regular practice, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, at least once a week, it's going to become so much easier and smoother for you to be able to remember it. Because when you're not consistent, it's really, really hard. You'll have to relearn it every single time you open up the software. So that's number one, regular practice. Number two, in that regular practice, I encourage you to practice repetition. When you start doing the same thing over and over and over, it no longer needs to be stored as a memory of, oh, I need to do this, this, this. It kind of becomes just muscle memory, which means your brain isn't necessarily even thinking about what it's doing. It's just going through this process because it already knows the system so well. And so through repetition, you build muscle memory where your brain is actually able to now think more creatively of what can you do, rather than having to figure out what the steps are to make it happen, because it already knows the steps. Your muscles already know what to do. It's just like if you're learning a sport or if you're doing something else. So number one, regular practice. You got to be consistent with it. Number two, repetition in that regular practice. If every time you open up your software, you're doing something entirely different, it's going to be really, really hard to remember how to do these items. So number one, regular practice. Number two, repetition. And then number three, print out the cheat sheets. And I'm specifically talking here to our alumni or to people who are going to take our class 123 SVG, or if you have additional sheets of your own that you have created, print them out and put them right next to your computer so that when you sit down, it's a really quick, easy guide for you to be able to use so you're not having to start at square one every single time. Okay, so those are the 3 tips I have today. Again, our question was, what's the easiest way for me to remember this stuff? It feels a little overwhelming. It's a lot all at one time. And so, regular practice, break it down and do it in small bite sized pieces, 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, but open up your software regularly. Number 2, repetition. Start practicing the same thing over and over. And once you've got that, then you can add something new on. And then number 3, print out the shortcuts. You guys have tons and tons of guides. If you're an alumni of our class, or if you're not an alumni, I invite you to join us when we open up our class 123 SVG here in a few weeks. But print out the sheets. It's so much easier when you've got a really quick reference guide there for you and you don't have to have everything memorized and you can use the printed out reference guide. So those are the 3 tips on how you can more easily remember what it is you need to be doing inside of your software. Again, if you have a question and you would like to be featured inside of the Daily Dose of Design series, make sure to send it over info@mydesignsandthechaos.com and your episode might be featured. And otherwise, you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you back tomorrow for episode number 28. Only a couple episodes to go. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.